Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball video. Today we have another preview. We're going to be looking at number 4 UConn heading to number 5 Kansas, a part of the Big East Big 12 Battle Series. This game will take place on Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. We'll also have a preview of the Jimmy V Classic coming up next week. But let's get right into this game. As mentioned, number 4 UConn, they're coming into this game sitting at 7-0, while Kansas is now sitting at 6-1 with the one loss coming to Marquette. They were the preseason number 1 overall. Just looking into this matchup, this game is in Lawrence, Kansas. Everyone knows Fog Allen Fieldhouse is a brutal place to play on the road. Kansas, in the last 3 years, they've lost 1 game at home in each of the last 3 seasons. For that reason specifically, I think you're going to see a larger spread than expected. These two teams would be close to even on a neutral site. Instead of giving the traditional 3 points for being at home, I think it's going to be more like 5.5. Because Kansas, they are a great basketball team, but just that atmosphere in Fog Allen has been very, very tough place to play for the last over a decade now. On paper, these two teams extremely similar. Mentioned probably around an even line on a neutral site. Ken Baum has them both ranked in the top 10, pairing those teams with top 10 defenses as well, as they're both anchored by 7-2 centers. UConn has Donovan Clingan, the sophomore, didn't get a ton of minutes last year, being a freshman on a stacked team that won the national championship, but he's extremely efficient. He's playing around 20 minutes a game, and all his numbers doubled. Kind of seeing a Zach Edey-like progression with Clingan. Dickinson on the other end, we all know what we're going to get from him. He's been National Player of the Year type of guy for the last few seasons. And so normally these guys are huge X factors. They're both massive, create a lot of matchup problems for other teams, but with these two guys both being 7'2", bigger bodies, they hypothetically cancel out. More of them or both of them could still definitely have big games. I just don't think their impact is going to sway this outcome as often as they normally do, at least. Key difference here is UConn's going to want to slow down the game, play at one of the slower paces in all the country, whereas Kansas is definitely going to speed it up. So getting the lead early here is going to really control how the game is played, and that could kind of play into Kansas's hands, as at the moment they sort of are the deeper team, part of it due to some injuries, but obviously you take control of the game at home, you get that momentum, things can get ugly quick. But UConn, since they want to play a slower pace game, if they do get the lead early, I think they're going to be a very comfortable cover in this one. Both teams led by senior point guards. Both are top 10 in the country in assists per game. But DeJuan Harris, he's more of a true playmaker, old school point guard. I know I go in on a lot, so sorry, DeJuan, but still a great player. But on the other end, Tristan Newton is absolutely filling it up for the Huskies, averaging 15.6 points, 8.1 boards, and 6.9 assists. So I think you got to give him the X factor there, see if he could dominate this matchup. DeJuan Harris is still also very good defender for his size, but just more of a true point guard. I think that's a potential matchup that Tristan Newton could take advantage of to give their team the lead. I also think the early stats haven't shown it, but I firmly believe UConn is the better perimeter shooting team, and that will help them at least stay in this game. Guys like Tristan Newton, as we already mentioned, Cam Spencer, now their current leading scorer, and then even Alex Karaban. You got 3 guys who could shoot the ball well from 3 in your starting lineup. And I just don't think Kansas can really say the same thing. I expected Nicholas Timberlake, the transfer, to really be that perimeter shooter for them, but he's looking more like a role player, off the bench type of guy. Marco Jackson's been solid scoring, let's be honest, he's been a little bit shaky, but the silver lining here for Kansas, I know I mentioned some advantages for UConn already, but Kansas could have a huge mismatch at the small forward spot in this game. McCullough has upped his points total by more than 8 from every season in his career, now up to 18 points. and he's doing it even efficiently. He's shooting the highest field goal percentage of his career. Granted, there's only 6-7 games played so far. Not quite the Jalen Wilson jump, but McCullar's really kind of established himself as that second option on this team, and that's definitely what they needed. The issue for UConn there is Stephon Castle, talented freshman for UConn. He's supposed to kind of occupy that small forward spot as a bigger guard, especially when you have Cam Spencer, more of a shooter. I mean, saying he's a spot-up shooter doesn't do him justice, but maybe not the best defender. Tristan Newton also has decent size for a point guard, but it's going to be really tough for them to match up with 6'7" Kevin McCullar, who's a really physical guy. They might have to roll out Solomon Ball. I don't know who they're going to match up with him. Could be Solomon Ball. He's given up 4 or 5 inches on the perimeter there and a lot of pounds. So for a guy like Kevin McCullar, who scores most of his points in the paint, this could be a huge game for him heading into this one. So I would definitely monitor Stephon Castle's status heading into this one, because I think if he does play, UConn should be a pretty safe cover. If the line's about 5.5, a lot of this still depends on the line. But as we mentioned, Kansas, 3 losses at home in the last 3 years. So one way or another, I think Kansas wins this game, especially with the early season loss to Marquette. I just think Stephon Castle's status is going to rely a lot on what this spread ends up being. No Stephon Castle, I think Kansas could run away with it and just really body UConn. I'm not saying Stephon Castle's a great rebounder or anything like that. It's just they're small on forwards. Andre Jackson was great for UConn last year. He's gone now. They just don't have that same wing depth that they used to. So Stephon Castle could be a huge swing whether he does play or doesn't in this one. He is targeting to come back in this game. So if he does play, I'll take UConn down to +5. Goes below that, I think you got to roll with Kansas at home, and just already losing 1 game to Marquette on the season. UConn hasn't picked up a loss yet, and Kansas is just pretty much unstoppable at home. That's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and good luck on your bets this week. Let me know what other videos you guys would like to see other than the Jimmy V Classic. Thanks for watching.